Hello everyone and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max and today we are taking a look at this Mercedes-AMG SLC 43 Roadster. So the new SLK, sort of. It's a midlife facelift, but it does have a new name. It's the small convertible, the small Roadster by Mercedes, and well, it did get some nice aesthetic updates, so I think it looks a lot better than before, especially in this AMG trim, of course. This is actually the first AMG performance model, so the first 43 AMG they released with that 3-liter V6 bi-turbo, codename M276DELA30. So while we're on the subject, let me show you the engine. So there it is, 367 horsepower, 520 Newton meters. It's the same power that the Mercedes-AMG C43 delivers, of course. So we know the engine. We really like the engine, actually. And of course we have that AMG sort of sport exhaust with valve control. Again, those black tips, I think it looks really good. And it sounds really nice as well, as you will hear in a second. So let's take a look inside. This is hyacinth red, by the way, this color, which I think is really nice. It really suits the Roadster. And well, inside we have these really nice seats. Actually, we have the air scarves, so this blows hot air in your neck, so you can drive it with the top down at lower temperatures. Black and white, really nice Napa leather. The shape is good, and actually, you know, I'm quite tall, as you may know, so about 6'5", 6'6", 1 meters, 95 centimeters, and I actually fit pretty well in this car, which it's quite a small car, but as a passenger it's not as spacious, but as a driver it's really quite okay, quite all right. We have the old-fashioned key. And well, let's start with one of the biggest problems of this car, the interior. Because this is just a midlife facelift, I mean, they have changed some things. This screen is a bit bigger than before. We have the new dials, the new steering wheel, but I think this center console really has had its best time. We also have this roof with magic sky control, which means that if I press this button, it becomes completely see-through, which I think is really cool. I know it's been around for a couple of years now, but I still think it's really cool. It's magic, so magic is always cool. So let's start it up. You hear that exhaust, and let's open the roof, which actually is quite quick. So there it is. We also have these wind deflector thingies, which look really weird, and you can close and open like this. But actually it's one of the cars with the most wind inside I've ever driven. So I'm going to keep these windows closed while we take it for a drive. Put it in D. It's in Sport Plus already. ESP Sport mode, please, thank you. Well, actually, let's start in comfort mode. So the exhaust is closed, everything is at its softest. And well, now it becomes just a really nice touring car. It's very quiet, it's quite comfortable, it's smooth, it's a really nice ride. And that exhaust is really, you know, you hear that something is up, you hear that there's a V6 in here, but it's nothing too major. But if we switch to Sport Plus, it shifts down, that exhaust immediately fires up. Let's switch to manual, shift down. You get some nice crackles. And suddenly it's quite aggressive. It's your gas pedal inputs are translated to forward motion almost instantaneously. You get some really nice pops and crackles on the overrun, on the downshift, on the upshift. I mean, I know it's all computer generated and fake and stuff, but that doesn't mean that it's not fun. And the good thing is that you can switch it all off if you want to. You can just switch it to comfort and it becomes really docile. As I said, this was the first of the 43 AMG models to be released, and until now it's the only one with rear-wheel drive. Of course, this has to have rear-wheel drive, and it replaces the old SLK 55 AMG with that 5.5 liter V8 engine, which was totally insane and way too big for this car, with 422 horsepower. And that great soundtrack. But you know, Mercedes has to downsize, and they chose for this 3 liter V6 bi-turbo engine, which propels this car from 0 to 100 in 4.7 seconds. And can you take a guess what the SLK 55 did? It was 4.6, so that was actually a bit quicker, and I think at higher speeds that V8 would also be quicker, but still, you know, it's very close. You do get that great sound, and of course it's a lot more economical, this engine, and I think it's a lot more usable every day. I mean, that V8 you had to get it at least to 4,500 RPM, and this delivers its maximum torque at 2,000 RPM already. So if you're just driving slowly and then go, it picks up immediately, and that's really cool. That's really nice. So this car also has the AMG Handling Package. And what does that mean? Well, it means we have a limited slip differential, we have this AMG performance steering wheel, we have this little clock on top of the dash, and that's about it. Red brake calipers, there's some small stuff, but the steering wheel and the differential are most important things. And that means it's quite a serious sports car, you know, it has all the hardware it needs. But I already told you the first big problem, the interior, it's quite dated in here. And the second one actually comes from within the Mercedes family, which is the Mercedes-AMG C43 convertible. So that has the all new interior, it's a lot bigger, it's also convertible, you can actually fit 4 people in there with some pushing and some shoehorning. But it does have 4MATIC all-wheel drive, so maybe it's a bit less agile and fun to drive, but still, that is a big problem for me, because I think, you know, in essence it's the same car, only bigger and better and newer. So I have some serious problems trying to figure out who should buy this car and why. So I can imagine that if you're, you know, an older gentleman or an older gentlewoman, you want a nice roadster to go on your holiday or whatever, and it's just the two of you, and you like the sort of mini SL body type, then you'd go for an SLC. And driving wise, you know, it's really, it's a great driving car. The steering feel is nice. It's really nicely weighted. The springs and dampers are really nice. It's quite firm, but it's still pretty comfortable. I mean, this is a great setup for sort of a roadster to cruise with, but still, if you want, you could do some more aggressive driving and it wouldn't disappoint. So I'm very torn, as you might be able to hear. I'm having trouble deciding who should buy this car and why, but at the same time I'm driving it and I'm actually having quite a lot of fun. So I'm going to leave it at that. You can decide for yourself. Subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to see more videos, you can click on the bottom right corner on the little icon, and you can follow us on social media for more updates. Thanks guys, see you at the next one, bye.